All right, y'all. I'm still losing my voice, getting all crackly cackly. I want to welcome you all back in, and welcome you in if you're new, returning, subscribed or not. Um, just finished off the Terramorph on a quest line with Hadrian and whatnot. Got our little penthouse and whatnot too. Um, got something a bit new-ish. It's kind of like my my other Vanguard ship, a bit smaller. This is not completely vanilla. Really no mods, but some duplication going on, some flip cancels and stuff like that. So if you're not familiar with those, I'll be kind of slowly going through that on this. I'm going to jump into the builder here. Call this the UC VG-2 or United Colonies Vanguard 2. You can probably see some of the things that are going on here. Very similar to my other fighter with the cowlings in the front here. Really the only thing I traveled for was the NG-20 landing gears. You can find those at in the Sol System Titan. If the card hadn't popped up in the right hand corner of the video by now, it will, or it may already have, and I'll link that video where all the Starship, Staryards, and ship services are, so that you can kind of jump along in there and figure where you want to go, what you may want to swap out of here, what you may hate, what you may not. You're welcome to modify this as you would like to, but this is the final product. But what I'm going to go into now is how I built this thing. Color scheme was a bit of a pain because I had to go in and select like all the wings separately and color them, and cowling separately because Deimos colored brighter than Nova. If y'all don't know by now that Nova colors a shade that's different from every other chip vendor. I may change this as I go along, maybe look a little bit better, but for now, since I already have, the Vanguard Tempest, I have 2 of those on here. I have 4 of the PBO 100s, and scattered across 6 of the Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors on here. I may switch up their positions, not entirely sure yet, but I like delete the whole thing because I'm at my Nesoi Outpost, as you may have already seen. We're going to grab our 120 LD landing bay from Deimos, and we're going to hit Y to flip it aft. Alright, from this point here, this attachment point at the front, left trigger, right trigger A, go to Habs. We could put a companionway. It looks more like a storeroom than the actual storerooms, but I'm going to drop a Deimos 1x1 storeroom right here. Now from the front attachment point of this storeroom, we're going to left trigger, right trigger A, going to hit up a control station, 2x1. Now from the storeroom, we're going to put a computer core using the same attachment method, left trigger, right trigger A, computer core, since it wants to shoot forward. If I had tried from this back attachment point of the control station, the computer core will be right on top of it, so it would look like that. I didn't want that. I didn't like that. So left trigger, right trigger A, computer core. Before I continue, at the bottom, this back attachment point of our control station, we're gonna hit up Dockers and put the 110 DP. This helps to keep mass and weight down, because if I put a companionway with a slim docker, it would have increased mass, and that's not what I wanted, personally. Before I go to cockpits, I want to put on, we're going to tab on over to grav drives, all the way down to your R4000 Class A grav drive. We're going to sit that on this little shelf right here. Now we're going to pop over to reactors. If you don't have this one available, you'll find it at Atlantis, maybe even Deimos, the DC-303, or you can just go ahead and use the 104DS for a little bit more power. But with this build, you won't need that much. And you'll see why after. We're going to pop that onto our computer core on top of our R4000 here. Alright, now I'm going to throw on our cockpit real quick. This is going to be the C2X Nova cockpit. Alright. So we've got a bit of, landing gear, one landing gear, a couple structural things to kind of figure out how we're going to get the landing gear on there. For right now, before I go any further, fuel tanks we can do. Dang it, we're going to go with the M30 Ulysses. For right now, we're going to put them on either side of the front attachment points on the lateral port and starboard at the front here, because we're going to drop those down. Now, before I do that, I have to go to structural. We're going to need something here for support of the engines when we get there. So head up to Nova, grab the Nova Wing port. We're going to sit that on the back attachment point of our control station here. We're going to highlight, duplicate it, drag it over to starboard, and flip it at the same attachment point, the back attachment point on the starboard side of our control station. Okay, now for structural, I need to go up to Deimos and grab a couple holes here. So you're gonna need like 2 of them temporarily. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate these so that there's 2. Drag it here. I'm gonna, hover over and select using right bumper or control click on mouse and keyboard. Select both of these, your bottom hole. Select that and hit Y to duplicate. Now hit A to place. I'm gonna delete the top fuel tanks now. I'm not gonna need these holes at all from here on. But going forward, go back into structural. I'm gonna knock this all out real quick. Nova Cowling 1L port 4. I'm gonna need 2 of these. But for now, the way I do this is I grab the 1L, put it right on the side of our front attachment point, so it kind of blends with the fuel tank. Port side of our control station in the front. I'll highlight, duplicate, drag it over and flip it. And it'll go on the starboard front portion of our control station here. So you'll have this kind of, neat little curvature here. All right, so braking engines, 2 Nova braking engines, both port and starboard, go right here at the back of our computer core. Highlight, drag, and flip. Boom. They're going to be at starboard and port rear attachment points of our computer core, so it should look like this. Alright, now shield, you might be able to guess this is Class B, so I chose the Vanguard Bulwark. We're going to sit it right in back of our cockpit, right on the top front of our control station here. Now, let's see here. I could head over to engines real quick and knock this out. You're going to grab yourself 2 Moon 7 engines. These are going to get attached to that Nova wing. And we're going to do that on the starboard as well. So we should have this kind of thing going on here. Right now, we're still in engines. We're going to grab our... Where'd they go? I had them. Oh, Hercules DT-160. You're going to have to go to Deimos for these, or New Atlantis, because Nesoi Outpost does not have them. Chose these because you can flip them back and forth, starboard and port. Now this attachment point at the top of your reactor on the port and starboard sides, we're going to flip cancel these engines onto it because they're turning red because the Moon engines are here. So drop it, pick it up. It's red and it says no, I don't want you to do that. So flip, cancel, highlight using LB. Select anywhere on the ship and just LB. Or double click if you're on mouse and keyboard. Now we're gonna highlight this, duplicate it, flip it, drop it. Pick it up again, and on that other side, attachment point of the reactor, flip, cancel, hit LB or mouse double click, and it's all attached. All right, so now with that all done, landing gear, the NG-20s, you're gonna have to go to Nova for these. You're gonna need 3 of these. So one's gonna go at the front underneath our control station here. And we're gonna need another one right under our Moon 7 engine starboard, one under our Moon 7 engine port. Okay, now back over to structural. Deimos radiator. I'm gonna drop that for now. Where is it? Deimos spine A. I'll just do it now. That's gonna go on the front of your computer core here. The radiator is gonna sit. I want to put it here, right on the reactor, kind of like cooling fins. Kind of like a CPU with a cooling fan on it. Behind that spine A, we're going to throw a spine D. And you might guess what's coming back here. Deimos tail A, going to get attached to the reactor, not the grav drive. I mean, you can, but personally I didn't want that. I wanted more of a seamless flow of this at the top. Okay, while still in structural, we're going to grab our Deimos wing E's, hit right on D-pad to flip it to the port aft version. We're going to put one on either side of our docker here. Highlight, duplicate, flip, and that's going over there. So for me, I'm going to select both using right bumper, Y to duplicate, and those are going to sit right on the front of our computer core here. Alright, still in structural, we're going to grab our Nova cowling 2L. We're going to need a top 4. I'm going to duplicate, drop, flip to bottom 4. But we're going to do the top 4, the TF1 first. It won't let us because of the shield. Now, if you haven't dropped it by now, I'm going to demonstrate. Drop it, you know, it's not attached, I can't move it. Pick it up. Wait for that attachment sound. Now flip, flip, cancel. All attached. We're going to do the same thing with the bottom 4. You can hear that sound. It has an attachment point. So if you haven't dropped it and you just selected, flipped, and you want to try to attach it, you can't. You have to drop it. I'll pick it up. Attachment sound. Flip, flip. With Y. Cancel. Select the whole thing using left bumper or double click. All attached. Now there's not much in the way of cargo, but I'm going to head over to cargo real quick before I do the weapons and grab a 100 cm ballast. You're going to have to go to either New Atlantis or New Homestead on Titan, which is in the Sol system. I'm going to attach this to the back of my graph drive here. Just under the tail A. Almost done, so bear with me. Over to weapons. Scroll down to Vanguard Obliterator Auto Projectors. Gonna need 6 of them. They're expensive. 10 to 11k each. So we're gonna go 2 on our bottom wing E's here. 1 on the other side here. I'm gonna pop 2 more on the other wing E's at the top here. And then 2 more on these Nova wings on the sides. I didn't like them on the top, I wanted them all sideways. Alright, now the Vanguard Tempest CE-13 missile launchers. Gonna need 2 of those. One's gonna go on our Nova cowling here. You can either put one on this spine C, where I'm gonna put it, or you can put it underneath this Nova cowling since it has a bottom attachment point. That's up to you. Right? Okay, so we're gonna head down in weapons. Look for the... You could do the PB100s or the 175s. Difference is about 7 damage. So I'm going to do the 100s because they're a bit cheaper. I'm going to stick these on either side of the spine C here. And you could put them on the tail if you wanted to. Or put them on top of the wings here. Me, I'm going to stick them on the tail. Actually, no, because they look like they're shooting into each other. So I'm just going to delete them, duplicate them, put one on the wing here on the top, and the other one over here on the other wing. So it should be in that orientation. All right, now one error, you need to assign them. So as usual, weapon 2 is Y of the missile launchers. Weapon 1 is left trigger. I'm going to put the obliterators. 0, 1, right trigger, weapon 0, left trigger, weapon 1. Y is weapon 2. Alright, so I'm going to highlight this. Let's see how it colors. That's a bit dark. You're welcome to copy that because I'm going to have to highlight, or select different components because you can see how it's coloring differently. Deimos is a lot brighter than Nova. I'm going to do color 1 the same, color 2 the same, color 3 the same. Color 3 I wanted a bit darker. Now you see how it's all different colors. These braking engines are brighter than The rest of it, Deimos stuff, colored brighter than the engines. A little bit darker than the engines, but brighter than the Novas. I hate it with a passion. Okay, so the fuel tanks and the Nova cowlings. You know what? I'm going to select the fuel tanks first. And I'm going to bring color 1 down. Match the Novas. Color 2, dark, 3, dark. Now these Nova cowlings I'm going to do color 3 and color 2, dark. Now, the Deimos halves, spines, tail, wings, they all colored differently than the Nova. So those are brighter. Same thing, the landing bag colors lighter. Color 1. See, that's about good right there. Okay, color 3 is going to be dark. And now we're cooking. Now, the braking engines I have to select separately and do the same thing. Except that these colors slightly brighter. Color 2, make that a bit darker. 3 is going to be the dark. Alright, now these definitely colored brighter. I didn't like that too much. That's a bit too dark. That's fine. Color 2. And color 3, we're going to leave that also dark. So that'll be fine. Right. And we are done. 854 in mass, 1138 in hull, only 470 in cargo. So for all of you that are pirating or smuggling and whatnot, this is really just a fighter. There's not much in the way of cargo at all. Unfortunately, that's not so great for all of you. Shield 1450, a crew of 7. Jump range of 30 light years, mobility 100, top speed 140. Damage on weapons isn't too bad either. I'm going to go ahead and cancel modifications. Yeah, see, I don't like this being so far forward. I liked it the other way. Everything else was the same except for the radiator. I want these to be a little bit closer. Even though they have good range, I want them to be a bit more forward. But that's our ship right there. No, I don't want that. For my own personal, I want the that's a bit bright. I don't like that. Now we're good. Right, gonna save that. And let's take a little run into the interior here. Put my flashlight on so I don't drive you all crazy. And we're gonna pop up in here. Into our Vanguard number 2. Alright, so turning around, there's nothing here. Just a 1x1.
Hey.
Open this up, there's nothing up top. Right, here's our control station.
I'll get to it, Dad. I promise.
Up here, computer core.
Fine, okay.
That's it. Very, very stupid simple. Well, not stupid simple, but very, very simplistic.
I was hoping you would stop by.
And here's our CX2. Y'all know I normally don't build light fighters with no cargo, because I'm also one of those that likes to smuggle and do pirating and all cargo. I do take cargo hauling missions from Deimos and Stroud. It could be 500 units, 2,000 units, 5,000 units. And something like this is not ideal for that sort of thing. You'll end up making like 10 trips, if not more. Anyway, jump up in our pilot seat here. Before I continue, let me check my crew. Barrett and Andreja, Rosie, Omari, Sarah Vasco. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and take off. Go to Serpentis and we'll show you what it's all about. Not leaving this place behind. Been through Unity so many times, I'm tired of it. Let's go.
Orbital insertion done. Time to dance among the stars.
Okay, we'll pull a little bit out of particles. Get that shield up to 100. Missile 1 out. Engines 100. Alright. Now our base speed won't be all that great. But, let's see. $679. It won't even go that fast, but that's okay. Because this thing is... It's gonna do its thing. What's that up there? Ship and Sybil? Nah, I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm gonna go over to Serpentis. 3 out of shield, 3 in grav.
Nice job. We're right on target.
Where are y'all? Level 26? What about you down here? What are you?
Direct into their grav drive.
Well, that was... Oops. I'm over here holding the button trying to turn, it just clicks on me. That's not too bad. Didn't take much damage either. Oh, hostile activity. There's only one, so it's gonna be rarely or fairly short. What? Somebody take y'all out already? I mean, cargo hold full. Don't like that too much.
Enemy shield generator has been knocked out. Enemy's grav drive disabled. Then target's shields are down.
Goodbye. Going to third person here. Find us some good light that's not. Alright. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. I do these things fairly frequently. And I appreciate y'all stopping by, checking this out. And giving me the time of day. There's other bigger creators who probably make a lot better ships than I do. But this, given the lens and how we're looking at it, it's gonna look bigger, longer than it actually is. But I will catch you all on the next one. Alright, later.